the anniversary waltz with you. Tell me this is real romance, an anniversary dream come true.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. That tune was specially for Portbear, who cannot be with us this evening because he's busy. Join myself, Fox. You're on the panel this evening is Oxchair, and of course the legend that is Fox.
Good evening, lads.
Can I say a big good evening to you two guys? Huge good evening to the boys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are you, Fox?
I'm very well, thank you very much. Yourself?
I'm tip-top, mate. Tip-top, looking forward to 3 points on Saturday, brother. Get us back on the road, on the train. I'm back on the choo-choo.
That was a nice wee touch for Port Bear. I quite enjoyed that. I take it
you've been an old romantic. You've been an old romantic.
You'll be going back to where I met her, up the graveyard, for a wee dine-out meal, probably, up the back of Port Glasgow there.
That's shocking, by the way.
I think he's
shocking.
Obviously, he's got a few kids, you know, but I think one he's to this wife is called Back Close. I don't know why.
Back Close. Back Close. Back Close and Dunny.
You seem to know a lot about it, Bridgeman.
Well, those were the terms of endearment in those times, you know.
So all the best to Port Bear and his missus, but what an excuse. I told him we'd had off to 8:05, you know what I mean?
It's a shocker of a man, that is. What a shocker.
Yeah, he's took on a lot. He's got that big family, he's a busy man, couple of jobs, and he's adopted Stardug. Guy's taking a lot on his plate.
Adopted Stardug. Well said, pal, well said.
Working class hero is your Port Bear. Well, big news today is we're going to be allowed in to see the football. Maybe, Bridge.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't know whether it was... I think I heard something on the news and I think it was Sturgeon that was saying it. But I think there was a bit of hesitancy in her voice to say it's final, you know. I wasn't dead sure, you know. I'm one of these guys that'll wait to see. Let's see if it happens, you know. Let's see if it happens.
I mean, obviously, it looks positive, but one step at a time, Fox, huh?
Aye, well, when is it? September the 14th? I think we're away on that, around about that time, we Hibs, isn't we?
Is that when we've got the 3 away games in a row? Surprise.
I think we're away to Hibs around about that time.
Somebody's phone keeps pinging. Can you make sure that turn it off? Carry on. Carry on, Fox.
No, I'm just saying, I think we'll be away.
Have a look at the fixtures, right? I'll have a look at the fixtures and get that.
On that time, I think that our first home game, around about that time, will be Ross County at home, I think.
I'm just checking the fixtures now, brother. I never thought about that, actually. Okay, so 14th September. Away to Hibs, then we're away to Motherwell the following week. That's the 26th. And we're no home to the 2nd of October in Ross County, mate, eh?
Aye, so it'll be a wee benefit for us. Yeah.
So he's is basically the 2nd of September to get it all sorted out. And then we're not home again to the 24th of October.
What?
In Livingston.
You're
There's
joking.
an international break in there, Bridge.
Oh, right, of course, yes, I forget about that.
You know?
Hard to believe.
That's why I think it's so important we win these next 2 games. But how do you see it working? I'm guessing if what we're hearing is maybe correct, Fox, approximately 15,000 potentially.
I think they mentioned a figure of 30%, which would make it round about that 17,000. Would that be about correct?
Roughly, mate. Roughly. Let's know for a couple of thousand. You know what I mean? We'll spend me on a night out.
Oh, well, there'll be a couple of thousand people who'll be hoping it's 17,000, mate.
Aye, but I think if you get into one game, you'll not get into the next. So that's the way I see it, Bridge.
Absolutely. It's got to work in rotation. So they'll set them all out and they'll say, right, that chunk can go that day, that chunk can go that day, that chunk can go that day, and however they set the seats up, I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be in your own personal seat.
No.
I don't think that's going to happen. There's going to be a seat allocated. I'm in the Copeland Rear, for instance, so I could end up somewhere in the Copeland Rear. But as simple as that.
Yes, but what I would do personally is, now we've got nearly 2 months to sort it out, if that's my first home game. But then it could be cup games and European games in between Foxhole. We might have games before that, but let's assume it's the 2nd of October we're planning for. I would send out to every season ticket holder who's in their bubble and who they go to the games with. And then you get a group and you get put in whatever split they're going to do it. So let's just say it was Mr. and Mrs. Bridge went to the game together. They would go in the first, the second or the third group, so that all the parties who go together, families, etc., all get the offers of the same game. And I don't think that would be that complicated, Fox. Fox?
I wouldn't think it would be too complicated.
No.
Because obviously, Fox is obviously busy doing something there.
No.
But I think... Oh, sorry, Foxy.
Sorry, you carry on.
Please, pal.
Oh, well, I know the way I'd work at Ox. I would allow all the old age pensioners in first. Because
serious, mate. I think if you
I'm
look at the
not being serious,
I think if you look at the detail, they might not be allowed in, mate.
Because we'll be the only generation that's behaved during COVID. We've been housebound for all this time where most people have been allowed to go out. So why not for the old age pensioners? And the other point on that is we've got less time on the planet and we deserve to see Rangers more than the young people because they've got the rest of their lives.
No, but It's not very good to the economy and that, because if they all used the 3 buses, nobody would take in any revenue. You know what I mean? So it's all about economics. So the pensioners would be any good.
But we would stagger where times are gone, mate. We would start out at 9 a.m. because it takes us that long to get Ibrox, you know.
But seriously, folks, that's what I would do. I would put everybody who wants to go in the 1, 2 or 3 group. Let's just say it's 1 to 15,000, 1 to 60, whatever. And then you're in the first group, the second group, or the third group. So let's contact the people and see what group they want to go in so they can go to the games together with the people they go to the games with. Yeah? Does that make sense?
It does, mate. It does. The ones I feel sorry for is the supporters' buses, mate. What they should actually do is split the supporters' buses into 30% groups.
No, how could you know if you've got a supporters' bus with 50 season tickets, which most of them have nowadays, and they're travelling to Ibrox, how could they not say, right, we want to go to the game, we'll go together on a bus and we'll take 1, 2 or 3 game?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They could say to a third of the supporters' buses, you come on that date, you've got in, and then the next set a third, and then the last set a third. Because it's got to pay for the buses to financially to go to the game, mate, you know.
It wouldn't make sense to run 3 buses, third full for 1 week. Yeah?
No. So you've got to be the whole bus.
Aye, exactly. So they put in the 50 people, there's the 50 season tickets, and they go together. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Aye, that sounds all right. And do they do the 30% by stand? Do you get 30% of people in the Copeland, 30%
I think
the Broomlawn?
We'll get 9 sections in Murgrun, mate, and I think what you'll find is it'll be the social distancing will be set out so that accommodates the amount of people who will go. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
I just hope that it's no all corporate. Get the largest share, mate. I hope it's evenly spread out amongst all season ticket holders.
I think it would be.
It's going to be, mate.
I trust that the Rangers will have set, I think it says this a wee bit earlier, they'll have developed a plan on how the stadium's set, and they'll say, here's the seats that are available, and we'll move certain, whatever, as Oxford says, they'll send out requests for groups if they want to get in there. But obviously they can't all sit together because social distance has got to be involved. But they'll be close, or as close as possible, and they'll see how it goes on for there. I don't know how they're going to work the social distancing, but it'll be interesting to see what the plan is and how it's going to work. And we're just hoping that there's a couple of seats available in the Copeland rear for the Bridgeman and another.
You'll get
every
your
week.
turn, mate.
Every week.
No, you'll not get every week, mate. Obviously, you'll need to put in your reports about your health, etc., Foxbridge, so that you don't cause any drama. And so you might have to wait till maybe next April or something before you get in.
Well, to be fair, with my health problems, mate, I think if I got offered a ticket, I would pass on it, to be honest with you.
I think you should take the first one, just in case, Fox.
No, honestly, I mean, I would... I think they should put out a kind of circular asking people if they want to be considered for it, because there's a lot of people who have been on the shielding list, etc., maybe not want to risk it for their health, you know.
But what about the song then, Heart in Hand and Sword and Shielding?
Oh, God.
I think in among... Sorry, pal, sorry.
On you go.
I was going to ask, or say, in among all this planning, they've also got to think of the ones who have paid for the Rangers TV thing, you know, while for the home games, you know.
Well, that's not the season ticket holders have all got it free, mate.
Yes, I know that at the moment, yes. Yeah. But if you are selected to go into Ibrox or to get a seat, I would imagine at that point when, say, fans are going to be allowed in, they're going to have to come up with some other plan because it's only going to be partial, isn't it?
I think what they'll do, Bridge, so I think personally, if it was me, I would leave that as free to season ticket holders to everybody can get back on the ground. And then I wouldn't go to the status saying, you can go to that match, but you can't get to the next two. Your Rangers TVs are for that, then back on for the next two. I think that it's for the whole season, and that's it, mate, your TV.
Yeah, well, I was hoping that's what we would think. And
I think that's the deal, Bridge. It's for the whole season, mate. So,
well, I hope so. I'm happy as long as when we go to if we're selected on the rota and we go to Ibrox.
You can't get that away at your head. You two can't be selected.
Well, if we are,
you can't be. Mrs. Sturgeon will know let you. These are too old.
Okay.
I've told you before. Be careful what you vote for.
But if we are,
you're not getting me voting for Mrs. Sturgeon. Woman's a nightmare.
I think everything about her sort of falling apart at the moment by the sound and feel of it all. And this will be a big, to me, this will be a biggie for her. You know, how they're going to handle this and get people back into football. Because, you know, the feeling about football is the feeling, isn't it? I mean, what's actually happening with football is, I don't know how many people, there's nobody telling you how many people are watching these games on the TV. You don't get any figures out to say, well, it was 150,000 on the TV watching that game. You know, you're just not getting it, and I don't understand why we're not. It's part and parcel. So,
usually you get it at the end of the month, mate. August isn't even finished yet. So
you usually get what?
The viewing figures monthly.
Oh, is that from Sky, I mean?
Aye.
Okay, well, that's good. I never thought of that, actually.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, the board will get it right, because
somebody's phone pings once more, they're getting dropped. Is that you, Fox?
No,
it's not me either.
What do you think, Fox? If it's no me,
it's no
Fox, what do you think?
It's no me either. You keep saying these things. It's no in here, no in this house, I'll tell you.
And I can be honest, I don't even know where mine is, so... Probably down the stairs somewhere.
Yeah. It's the truth.
We'll get a technical expert on it and he'll tell us who it is. Yes, thank you, Mr. Terry. Thank you for that information. It ain't Fox and it ain't Ox, Terry said. Right, so we're moving on then. People want to give their views on how it's going to work. Looking forward to get back into football. Concerned. Because there will be people with concerns, genuine concerns. What's the number, Fox?
The number is 0141 356 1972.
Or joins at Skype at rangersradio.online. You can bring right in and talk to Bridge or Fox. Portbear was going to be here, but he's busy. No, he wasn't, but... Rangers Radio does romance. I never thought we stood that low, Fox.
I thought it was a nice touch from you. I'm quite pleased with you.
I suppose it was a big hit for your youth, wasn't it?
What, the song?
Aye.
Aye, well, I can remember that. Aye. Remember that in the old radiogram, if you remember what that is.
Oh dear.
They were a work of art, weren't they, the old radiograms? Oh, they were terrific. Never mind all this fancy new stuff. You couldn't beat the sound of an old radiogram.
An old radiogram. No.
You made a prediction about 2.5 years ago. You've been proved correct. Greg Docherty, ultimately good enough for Rangers.
Well, no offence to the guy, and obviously he's an ex-Rangers player, so I'm not going to criticise him too much. I thought then, but we were just... And it was the same with number 29 from St Johnstone. Rangers just walked out and gave the best part of £1 million away to two teams for absolutely zilch. And I mean, we've done it. Didn't cost us any money for Jordan Jones, but it feels that's what happened here. Jamie Murphy, unfortunately, is injured, so the money we paid for him, I don't know whether Rangers isn't going to have to write it off if indeed we get something for him. It'd be great. But these are the things that I feel really bad about, that we've invested money in some of these players and patently obvious to me and to a lot of other folk as well, not just me, is never going to really make it at Rangers. Never, ever, ever going to make it. Might be a nice wee player to some folk, but to me, no. No for Rangers.
The number 29, Warburton signed him. He had a good game against them. We made the classic mistake of signing him. I don't think he would have never been in love with our club, so it wouldn't have been somebody I would have signed. I agree with you there, Bridge. Docherty, Fox, I can understand. Young Scottish talent, around about 20 at the time, we take a chance on him. He does okay, but he doesn't kick on. We've took a punt, it's no worked. We've roughly got our money back. Not the end of the world, does it?
No, not at all. Feel sorry for people like Greg Docherty, a young Rangers supporter, trying his hand at Ibrox. I think him and his family would have been over the moon when he joined us, mate.
Oh, do you remember the pictures? The whole family, it was fantastic, mate. So proud for the boy,
But unfortunately, you do take gambles in football, and the clubs take gambles in moving new players to the club. You're probably hoping that they train on a wee bit better, maybe pick up some new skills under your own coaching methods. But Greg just hasn't made the big step up to the first team. I think he only had about 20 appearances for Rangers if he had that. But good luck to him. He done well when he was on loan at Shrewsbury, and I hope he does well for his new club. Hull, wouldn't it? Hull.
Aye, come in. Obviously, majority of games he sort of played the Murty period. Murty was the caretaker manager when we brought him in. So it just never, that's when he played most of his games. When Gerrard came in, we've seen very little of him. Last time we seen him was a cup tie, I think. East Fife, I think, from memory. And it wasn't great. It was a horrible day, and you couldn't really judge anybody. But I don't think we ever seen him really, apart from maybe friendlies in a blue jersey again. But I'll tell you, like Ross McCrory, the difference is I wish his team all the best. I wish Ross all the best, but no his team. But Greg will go with our best wishes, and I hope that his career goes from strength to strength. Gives money Osbridge,
100%. And I would never wish any ex-Rangers player anything, any bad, seriously, as far as our club's concerned.
But you're a gentleman, Bridge. You're a gentleman. You would never, ever go to somebody's house or across from their house or next to their house when they left their club and spray paint Judas. Would we do anything like that, Fox?
No.
And then amazingly, we kept to the media for over a year, Fox.
Yes. It's funny they've ran that many stories about Kieran Tierney since he's left the club, but they happened to miss that one for some reason. Can you imagine why?
I don't know, mate, but who let the cat out of the bag?
We Kieran Tierney himself.
You've got to laugh, haven't you?
Oh.
Well,
I think they done the same with Kenny Dalglish as well, mate. I think they called him for everything when he left for Liverpool. Probably other players. I don't know if Charlie Nicholas got the same. But they aren't a very good way players departing their club. Well,
if they're like say I'm assuming you're talking about a boy if it was with Hibs. Sorry, you talking about Scott Allen as well? You talking about him going to them as well? Is that what it was?
No, we're talking about Kieran Tierney.
Just Kieran Tierney. That's fine. Well, you never know because I think something happened with Scott Allen as well when he left Celtic. That's what I think. However, I'm being wrong. I've been wrong before. No, I think that boy getting treated the way he was treated, if indeed it was true that he was treated like that and there was that sprayed on his or close to his house. Bad news. But you're right. How did that not hit the newspapers until or whenever? Probably just today, for instance. Unbelievable. It just shows you the power I've got, doesn't it?
Well, I think that's a point that the wise Fox is making, isn't it, Mr. Fox?
I may have hinted on it.
All right, so if you want to give us a call, it's 0141 356 1972 or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. You can come in and talk to Bridgeman and Fox this evening. But aye, the power of the press and the people. Right, so who have we get ready now? Since the end of last season, who's away? 2 goalkeepers. Yeah?
Yeah, Alnwick and Foderingham, yep, they've gone.
Yep. Flanagan, Halliday.
Holt,
Docherty, McCrory.
Yep.
Rossiter.
Well said.
We've had a big turnover of players, haven't we?
Rossiter and anybody else? Anybody think of anybody?
No.
Can you think? This is only in the last year we're speaking about, yeah.
Well, we finally get rid of Ingwe as well, the striker, did we know? It was always out on loan.
Big Herrera.
Yep, man.
He's gone. Jeez, oh.
He, by the way, that was a big wage for Rangers, that guy. Big wage. Let's hope it all smooths out. And
so 2 goalies, 2 fullbacks, McCrory, Docherty, Rossiter, Herrera. Anybody else? Ojo's 9. That's 9 so far. Am I right? Is there any more?
Gresda.
He was last season, mate. He went.
Was it last season? He went away last season. Okay.
Aye. Holt, you're right. Holt's 10, mate. That's a good shout, Fox. I think he touched the ball twice in that game on Sunday, didn't he?
Aye.
Can you think of any more than that?
So it's beginning to turn over, and obviously there's rumours about Jordan Jones and Jamie Murphy. So that's a big turnover. Because, come on, let's be honest about it. Maybe apart from Halliday and Flanagan, most of them were nowhere near getting a game, were they?
Nah, they weren't.
Sorry for Jamie Murphy, mate. I think Jamie Murphy's got a bit of skill about him. He's not the fastest player, but he had good feet on him and could score a goal, Jamie Murphy.
Intelligent. I'll tell you now, mate, I would have rather brought Jamie Murphy on that park on Sunday than Brandon Barker. With the greatest of respect to Brandon Barker.
Aye, agreed.
But you've got to think now that Brandon Barker's days are numbered. You've got to, because he's been given a number of chances and he just hasn't done it. Admittedly, it's been tough games and very defensive games type of thing, but he just hasn't done it for us. No got it.
He was a boy who was a top youth player. I mean, it's got to playing in men's football. He's just no good at it. That's not his level. His level's about maybe English League 2, mate. That's his level.
Can't disagree with you, pal.
You know. But that's only my opinion. I've been wrong before, Fox. I think it was 1983 I was wrong.
I think his confidence is a bit short.
Get it right, Fox.
That bit with the hair, you know me, mate, when I found out I had my baldy bit at the back, my confidence just sank, you know. And it's hard to come back for that.
Don't let any girl walk behind you.
Well, hair loss affects a lot of people's ways. You know, as young starter will testify, you know what I mean?
Oh, without a doubt.
You know. But I just don't think he's up to it. I don't think he's got it. I don't think he's going to have it. And, well, it's not that simple just getting rid of people, because obviously they're on decent wages, so they're not going to just walk away from it. But if you look at Docherty and that, they're moving because now it makes financial sense to them. If they're getting offered a 3-year deal and they've only got 1 year left, you know, everybody's happy.
Good luck to Big Ross as well. Forgot about him.
So we've still got a few, but that's a lot of turnover. So who we brought in? We've brought Hadji in. We've brought the goalkeeper in. We've brought Balogun in. That's 3. And then we've brought the 2 forward players in. That's 5. So we'll basically get ready potentially 10 or 11 to bring in 5. So I think we do need a couple more in the door. Because we will, as the season goes on, we could be Lightbridge.
I think you're right. But if you think about it, if we're going to move 10 out and we've already brought 5 back in, but far better quality than the 10 that are going out the door, that's progress. No matter what anyone says, that's progress. And if we have to go out and buy whatever position you want, maybe 1 or 2, and I don't know if the manager's keen on that, but I would imagine he is. Then we got, you know, it's no a whole load of people, so there's plenty of room, you know. So he should be able to target different parts of the squad, and this is what we want to bring in there. I think it'd be brilliant. If he can get it right and he's got the money to do it, then that'll be fantastic. So I get some decent guys.
Quite a lot of them would be Mark Allen signings, I take it, eh?
A lot of them, even up to maybe Jordan Jones and Barker, maybe would be Allen signings, eh?
Aye, would think so. But do you not think that kind of shows you how far down our target list could have been at that time, Ox, if you know what I mean? Maybe we were in for better class players at the time. Either couldn't entice them to Ibrox, couldn't afford them, and as we go down the list, that's the sort of players that we ended up with.
Right, I get your point. So what you're saying is we brought in Barker and Jones because we didn't think that Kent was coming. Is that what you're saying?
Possibly, yes.
Aye. I suppose you've got to plan all the time for failure in some respects, Bridge, yeah? You don't know if someone's going to work out all the time.
Yes, you're absolutely right there. And of course, you get to maybe, I don't know if you can do this, but in your plan, you've got to think, well, what players have we got that are good? Because somebody might come in and steal them away from us at an inconvenient moment, you know, or an inconvenient time. And I'm, you know, when I was saying that what do you call him, Ryan Kent just jumped right into my head with this rumour about Leeds interested in him for the double figure millions of pounds, you know. So you never know your luck. It might come out. I don't know if it's going to be true. Has anybody heard then? Is it true? Is it rubbish or what?
Well, we go back to what we were just talking about, the power of the press, mate, and the agenda of the press. Yeah. Pretty unsettled Morelos. Then it was Barisic, and this week it's Kent. Seems to be as if Rangers would take 10 million to lose Ryan Kent, one of my prize assets, and only make 2.5 million on. I don't think so, Fox, do you?
I think Kent was a target for Leeds before we actually got him. I think that was a legitimate target for them when they were in the Championship. If they were to try and buy him now, mate, I'd expect for it to be worth their while. You'd need to be talking 12 to 14 because we paid 7 for him. I take it Liverpool would have a sell-on clause, which would take on maybe another couple of million onto the price that we bought him for. We wouldn't just give him away for the same price as we got him, would we?
No one of our prize assets. No, for me. Bridge?
No, I would doubt it very much, but unless, of course, the money was right. So if Leeds are, I don't know how true these things are, but if somebody come in with a £10 million initial bid, then it would need to be sort of thought of as an initial bid. And you're expecting that to go up because you'll tell them, no, it needs to be higher or higher or higher, you know. And
talking
come to it.
Talking about bids, I see the Lille, I think it was Euro, but he said that Rangers knocked back on Sky today. He said that they knocked back €16 million, Fox, for Alfie.
Yes, I heard that this morning on TalkSport. So it was.
Who said that? Who said it?
The Lille president. What have you been on?
The real president, right? The Lille president. Okay, but
you have to start getting out of your bed, man. You can't stay in your bed all day now. He came in and said that, by the way, also intimated that it might not be finished yet, Fox.
He did. He carried on to say that it was on pause, more or less, didn't he? So that'll shoot down a lot of people that are denying that Rangers have received bids for him. I don't think the guy would have been on the TalkSport and told lies, so it was a concrete offer and Rangers turned it down.
16 million, Change days, Bridget.
Oh, aye, absolutely. The thing is, of course, I'm assuming the story was that the Rangers have knocked it back. And I don't know how quickly it was knocked back, and whether they were told immediately, not interested, come back with 20 or whatever, 25. So I don't know what's been said, but if the Rangers have knocked that back, then they obviously value the guy a lot more than a lot of other folk think about him. That's the truth. Because there's a lot of Rangers fans would probably take the money and go, as far as Alfredo's concerned.
I think he's got a big part to play for Rangers this year, Morelos.
I hope so. I do hope so.
I do. And I don't get why a lot of the support saying that he's huffy. I've been watching him when he's come off as substitute lately. He's went and sat in the stand, whereas last season he would storm down the tunnel. So I think he's getting his head together well. And that sad booking that referee gave him on Sunday is just a sign of the stuff that Alfredo's got to put up in Scotland. And I hope he stays and sticks it right up the craw and we go to 155.
But Foxy, you said there about what Alfredo's got to put up with. I don't think it's just Alfredo. The club's got to put up with that as well. I just don't understand what's been said, and has anything been said to the referees about their decisions and why they're sorry.
You can't debate every single booking and every.
No, I'm talking about behind the scenes, right? So, as a club, is their club manager not going in and saying to the referee, half time, what was that? Or full time, what was that? Booking, why is that booking there? What's that? What's the score about that?
And get a better. The referee turns around and says, "You booked him because he showed dissent."
Fine, at least he knows.
But so did the boy Devlin.
But it's irrelevant, Fox. You can't. That decision's that decision. He might have got the Devlin one wrong, which I agree with you. But Alfie still showed dissent. I thought he was unlucky to get booked, but that's the answer the referee would give you.
I think there's a definite agenda with referees in Scotland to crack down on him for his dissent. I think they're making an example of him and him only, and I think it's a crime, mate.
Well, that becomes another subject, Fox. If you're saying whether somebody else would have booked for showing the same dissent, and I tend to be in your court with that old wise one.
I think there's
keep Bridgeman away from referees. We'll move on to the BBC, Fox.
Oh God, no, don't start him in the BBC.
All right, if people want to join us, what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
That joins at Skype at rangersradio.online. You can come in and talk to Bridge and Fox. And I'd just like to send congratulations to Port Bell. Well done, son. Aye, well, it just shows you the turnaround, and obviously Rangers have got a figure in mind, and I think that figure must be, is it €20 million, £20 million, Fox? That seems to be the number. It seems to be the number that's the starting for acceptance if they want to talk to Alfredo.
I think if they would accept anything less than that for the Buffalo, mate, Rangers would have negotiated and maybe go up to 17. But I think they're very adamant that they're not going to sell on the cheap as we have done for years, and they want the correct figure that they've valued at him. And I think it's a reasonable figure for a guy that scored the amount of goals that he scored.
Bridgman?
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think we spoke about Alfredo the other night there, and we got some tremendous valuations of him, which were probably given if you went from an international market price, then I would imagine that Alfredo would be close to the top prices that some of the boys said, and some of the boys were saying some were close to £30 million. And that's probably about true, given the international market. But unfortunately, the market we play in Scotland here is clouded, and it's clouded badly. And we get a terrible press he gets. And it's unfortunate. There's no much. And that's when I say these things about referees and what our club are doing about it. Are they? And if Fox is right, he thinks they're actually picking on him, and it is something no right about football and the way he's getting, shall we say, treated on the pitch or mistreated on the pitch, depending which way you want to look at it. Then it's something that the club could maybe take up with the authorities. I don't know, but if we're not doing anything about it, then maybe the club think he is petty and he's causing trouble for himself, and we're just ignore it, which will make a big devaluation.
I don't think Alfredo's hurt anybody in the whole time he's been in Scotland, right? Some of his sending offs and some of the things it's been, let's just say it's been petulance. He's left himself open. When I coached kids, Fox, when they got older and they start getting in, when they start to show the macho bit, one of the things you try to tell the boys that are maybe defenders, don't give the referee a decision to make, because you don't know if it's going to always go in your favour. And Alfredo's the same. He plays on the line, and that's just the way he is. It's his nature, and it's 50-50. And unfortunately for the wee man, most of the time it's 75-25 against him because they show the bias towards him, Fox.
I think he gets upset with himself sometimes.
There's a bit of that, mate.
And Sunday, I think that was exactly the case where he failed to control the ball, and he juggled with the defender, and he was given as much as he was taking. He was trying to push him away or force him to get to the ball. Alfie pushed back, and then when the referee gave the foul, it's just frustration, because he thinks that he gets picked on. I think he thinks that himself.
So when you think of the tackle the St Johnstone boy done, and he gets a booking, and he could have ruined somebody's career, and then he throws his arms up in there and gets a booking, doesn't make sense. And the boys, the lobby, the game's 3 o'clock on Saturday. 3 o'clock Saturday this week against Kilmarnock at home. I think you're right there, Fox. Bridgman?
Yeah, I agree with him. But my view of that was slightly different. I think Alfredo was expecting something more from the referee. I don't know whether the defender actually touched the ball and that forced it to go out for a throw-in or a corner, or indeed was Alfredo were looking for a penalty, because the guy was leaning on him, and he was obviously a judge to have fouled the guy. And I don't see how Alfredo fouled him. Everybody saw I'd imagine very few would think that Alfredo caused a foul there in any way, shape, or form. But he was given a foul against him, and I don't know why. And obviously we know the referees made that decision, but I don't understand why it was when based on what I saw, it was one way. It could have been a penalty. Could have been a penalty for us, and that's gospel truth. I don't know.
I've never seen that, Bridge. I've never seen that.
You saw the tackle. The guy was leaning on him all the way. He was leaning on him for about 3 yards, pushing and pushing.
I know you've had the operation, but we're going to have to get you to that Specsavers, mate, and get the blue tinted glasses sorted.
Okay.
They're too heavily tinted, mate. But I think it was petulance to get booked for Fox. It was a coming together. The decision went against him. I don't think there was any penalty in it. He booked him because he showed a small bit of dissent, but the Fox is making a great point that the boy Devlin made the same thing in the first half and never even spoke to him.
I think it was in the second half, mate. Late on in the game, yeah.
Yes.
But there's also another side there. He also takes thumping challenges, mate, against him, and doesn't react. As I say, I think it's down to frustration with himself. It's usually when he doesn't get a decision when he thinks he's fairly challenging somebody, rather when he's lost in the head when people deliberately haul him down or have a whack at him. He doesn't react. He just gets up and gets on with it. So he's a winner. He's a natural winner, mate. And we're always crying out in Rangers teams for winners, and he's a winner. Doesn't he like to get beat in a tackle? Doesn't he like to get beat in a duel with a centre half? He's just ingrained winner in him, mate.
Nothing wrong with that, Bridge.
No, of course not. Of course, I'm a big fan of Alfredo Morelos, and I have been since the minute he came into Ibrox. And I think he's a marvellous player. I think he's the best player that we've got at Rangers. I'd hate to lose him, and I do hope somewhere along the line the club find the funds to keep him, because although we're saying we don't want him to go, and if the club still value him over £16 million, I think they're going to have to pay him a better wage to make him stay, if you follow what I mean, you know. And I don't know.
In the last 2 years, he's never pay rises in you.
Yeah, I know, pal. I'm trying to say that. But when it comes to the push, I don't know. Let's say he's got 2 years left in his contract. I don't know what he's got left. But he's going to be knocking on the door and saying, hey, you know.
If that's what his agent would be doing, let's be honest about it. If you've knocked back a deal for 16 million, you'll be chucked at the door.
Absolutely.
We'll stay. We want a rise. Yeah, if he's valued at that, that's modern football, unfortunately, Fox.
Without a doubt. If we're valuing him at 20 million, probably his agent is chatting the door all the time saying, well, you need to pay me as a £20 million player. So it works both ways.
You know what it's like. You would Bridges like agent chatting you up, wouldn't you?
My fear, Fox, is that it gets to a point where he's unsellable because of whatever attitude that's been, and whatever other. If Leo come back in and says, "That's the best we're going to give you is 16 million," then Rangers have got a major decision to make. And if they go the way of keeping him, then they're going to have got to fortify themselves and say, put some money aside, because as sure as shooting, Alfie will want £16 million worth of wages or close to it, whatever the club can afford. And I don't want to be paying that type of player's salary. I don't want that. I personally don't want him to pay him any more. Do you follow what I mean? I don't know what salary he's on now, but if it's double what he's getting now, oh my goodness gracious, Rangers couldn't afford that. I don't think they could anyway. You can tell me if I'm wrong.
I know it sounds as though we're trying to sell him. I want him to stay, mate. I think he's a great player. And I don't think all the stuff that goes in the press about him has any effect on clubs who may be looking at him, because they're professionals in the football field. They will watch the videos and know how good Alfie is.
And something annoyed with some of the support, and it's only my opinion, Bridge, and people are entitled to their view, but I've got an opposite view. See, when he pulls on his faces and he gets upset, I've got to admit, I think it's quite funny. He shows passion and he gets annoyed, and you know, if he gets took off, he's not happy. Well, you're not meant to be happy when you get took off, you know, and you want to be jolly happy when you. I mean, the classic was the time up at Ross County, and I think it was a liberty when it done to him. when Defoe and Gerrard were standing there and he was going and they were howling with laughter. It was funny, but the wee man just wanted to stay on and get another goal, Fox.
Aye, without a doubt. He's one player who has improved since he came here, isn't he? He was a striker who just tried to get the ball on target all the time, which he was successful most of the time. But I think his all-round game has improved dramatically in the last year.
You can see him maturing. You can see him maturing. He's learned the different arts of the centre forward. But I think that was a problem in Sunday. When they thought the low block, when they dragged the Aberdeen defence out because Morelos came deep and they put Kent ran off it. I mean, that's all right when teams will come out. But when they sat and they don't come out, it doesn't work. You know?
No.
But, I think he's improved. Anyway,
that's exactly what happened to, isn't it?
Well, if they don't come out, Bridge, if they just
nothing you can do. There's nothing you're stuck, and that's what happened to Rangers.
They're 20 halves. Their two centre halves ran 20 yards the whole game.
Yeah.
That's how much they moved, Bridge.
Indeed it was, pal.
You know, so if people want to join us, maybe give their thoughts on Alfredo, give their thoughts on Greg Docherty, give their thoughts on anything that's happening in the club. What's the number, Foxy boy?
0141 356 1972.
Where else can they join us, Bridge?
They can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, and the Old School Blue will bring them in and look after them. Enjoy yourself.
You're here. Aye, Morelos. Aye, well, 1.5 million, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 million, mate. Good business for the club. I don't think anybody would be spraying Judas on across his house or on his windows, etc. I don't think that would happen. Maybe go with our best wishes, because you've got to look at the bigger picture sometimes, and hopefully the manager will get a good percentage of that money to reinvest in the squad, Fox.
Well, hopefully, but as I say, I want him to stay. I think.
Aye.
I think we need to get in onto the park, mate. And I still think our best front four is Kent, Aribo, Morelos is the three, and that up front. I don't know how good Roof's going to be. I think we'll need to wait a wee while for him to get totally up to fitness. But at the moment, those three in the 4-2-3-1, they're all capable of interchanging. They're all capable of scoring goals. They've got good feet. They can see a pass. And I think Alfie, being the lone striker at the moment against the low block, is a waste of Alfie. Because I've watched him in the games when he's came deep. He'll spray the ball about, but the first instinct that he's got is get himself into the box, and he's arriving in the box, but the balls are not coming to him.
How are you playing that three behind that on then? How are you playing it? Who's Kent on the left?
And I would actually have Aribo on the left.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have Morelos in the middle, and I would have Kent on the right. And they can interchange during the game, yeah.
Have you dropped Hadji altogether then, Fox?
Who?
I think
Hadji.
the boy.
Exactly who?
I think the boy Hadji maybe be a bit like Barisic. It maybe take him a real season, another season to settle totally into the side. The boy's got definite talent. I think we need to get him on the weights and bulk him up a bit and see how it goes. He could make a difference in games coming on as a sub. As I say, you can see he's another one that can see a pass. But with this low block, he comes too deep, and he's very ineffective in games at the moment.
He's rolling sausage, mate. A few of them will bulk up a bit.
Anything with dripping on it, get in there.
I like that team, Fox. I like it. I can see how you're then saying you would need the two defensive mids. You know, because basically you're sitting with four up front all the time, ain't you? And then you're Barisic and Tav coming and joining, yeah?
I think the two defensive midfielders come in for a lot of stick because, as they say, they're no creating, but they do a lot of work on this side. And I watched it, and the game, even the game on Sunday, mate, they were carrying the ball, and it's hard to pick out a pass when you've got 10 men with 4 attackers up front. It's very hard to have that slide rule pass, and I think they get picked out as being non-creative, and I think it's wrong. I think they do a fine job covering with 2 fullbacks. But that's only my opinion.
Aye, well, aye. I didn't like Aribo playing on the right when he played there and gave Hadji the loose role, you know. But I can see your point if they all interchanged, you know what I mean? Because I just think a big Aribo looks as if he's got a bit between his teeth at the moment and all, you know.
I don't think Hadji and Aribo complement each other very well, to be honest. Aribo looks as if he's you know, sometimes he wants to go and you can never see the ball coming away from his feet type of thing, you know. Whereas or something, you know, it just I don't think it complements each other the way they play.
Well, that's been my disappointment with Hadji. I mean, I thought when he first came into the team, right, okay, he's willing, he takes the ball, he takes it tight, and he's trying to beat him. Sometimes that'll work for you, sometimes it doesn't. But what's disappointed me is he's touched. He gets the ball played in him when it bounces back 5 yards, and he's then losing it, and that's been the big surprise for me. You know, and I do think if you persevere with him, you will get moments of absolute brilliance off him, but they're going to be whether it's enough to keep him in the team week in, week out. That's my problem with him, you know. Does that make sense, Fox?
It does. I always get that feeling that when he goes to take the ball off, his thoughts on where he's going to put it is first and foremost in his mind. And sometimes he has a bad first touch and loses it down to concentration. Oh, I've been joined by a caller.
All right, I think it's James from Tennessee. Evening, James. To keep him in the team week in, week.
Hello.
Turn the show off, James, yeah?
Yeah, I've done it.
How we doing, mate?
Fine, yeah. I'm just going to referee a couple of games here in maybe 5 minutes. I will be leaving. Now, I looked at a couple of players, centre midfield players. Two of them's captain.
Yep.
Two of them's captains of the teams. Right. One's Alexander Grunwald, Austria Vienna. He's 31 years of age. He's 6'2", as you want.
Right.
He plays in centre midfield, and you can play left midfield or right midfield. And he's captain. I watched him against Ajax. He got well and truly hammered, but he's only playing for the first half. And he can tackle. He's a very intelligent player. He'll probably go for about 800,000 euros, a wee bit more. The other guy is a guy called Jesper Karlstrom of Djurgården in Sweden. Right. Defensive midfield player. He's just a bit smaller, 6 foot. Sorry, I couldn't get two more.
Well, I'll let you after that, mate. Thanks for everything.
So 25 years of age. You would go for about $1 million. He's really good. These two guys can shoot all the time, and that's what we need. All these players, I look at left backs that can have a shot, and they can all score goals and so forth. So these are a couple of players. I looked at him. They played against Ferencváros and get beat. But Ferencváros will give the other lot across the city, by the way. There could be a shot because they've got some tremendous strikers. I watched the game, but a couple of players there Rangers could maybe go for. But I think there's tons of players, £1 million, that would be really good around Europe and so forth, especially Swedish leagues, Denmark leagues. They're quite. The Swedish are very good. They're strong players. But we
gave them a mission, Fox, and they come back with 2.
Aye, did indeed. The only problem I think we've got, James, here in Scotland is there is plenty of players in Europe, but it's enticing them into the Scottish League. I think we've got a big problem with that. We never had it maybe 20 years ago or etc. when we were a high-paying club. Probably one of the highest paying clubs in Scotland where we could entice players from practically anywhere. I think we're struggling now to convince people, although we've got a big star manager, we're having trouble enticing players like you're mentioning there over to Scotland to play in our leagues.
Yeah, that's probably so because, like I always say, see the English boys like the Hearts big centre forward. Can't remember maybe the big kind of well-built centre forward. He goes back south. A lot of the players come from England, try the Scottish League for a year and then get homesick, say, look, I'm going back. And a lot of players are doing that. I think you're right there, but I don't make the contacts. Of course, I know that I don't know how they work it, but they must be. If they give them a decent wage and they'll come, well, I don't know how Ross Wilson works. I don't really know. But there's players all over in America. But just on Brandon Barker, no disrespect to the guy, but the guy wouldn't get a game over here in America with some of the leagues. He's pretty. I find it even shocking.
He wouldn't get into the Rangers Radio 5-a-side team.
I know. I find it shocking how we've signed a player like that. I just couldn't believe it. I would play Bridgman instead of him, to be honest. And
I would play Bridgman instead of Hadji as well, personally. At least we get a laugh.
But I was listening to the Ibrox radio, and that Robert Weatherall, some character, by the way, I'll tell you that. He's on and he's complaining like anything. He's some guy. Maybe you should get him in the panel. I know he can talk. Robert Weatherall is interesting. He makes me laugh. But there's a couple of players for you. And,
brilliant, James. Thanks for taking the time, mate. And, well, we gave you a task and you done it.
Yeah, and I'll be back in the future.
All right,
I think it'll be at least 2-0. But all Bear has got a very good football brain. Really good. He's looking for weaknesses. That's what I do. I used to go and scout teams and look at their weaknesses. And Power, he is a weakness. Get some free kicks. Yeah.
You trample around him, put him under pressure, gets a yellow card, and becomes ineffective.
Yeah.
They've also, how you get away with ruining Graham Dorrans' career is unbelievable. How that was never a red card is beyond.
Yeah.
Only did they make the press because Kachina gets sacked that night. And then if you think back to the same game, Jack gets sent off and Broadfoot was standing all over him. Do you remember that incident, Fox? Oh, we'll see me a lost Fox.
Can I just say one thing before
Yes.
I go? Right. All the Rangers supporters and Ibrox Radio, yourself, they're always saying take shots. I just cannot believe how our manager, assistant manager, don't let these guys have shooting practice. That would actually change their plans. I'd do it for the first 20 minutes. Just say, look, fire in goal shots from all over. I don't care if you hit across it goes out the park. Just go for it. Why do we don't do that? But anyway, I'll leave you to it and I'll see you. Be in touch. Take care, everyone.
Cheers, James. Take
care. Bye now.
All right. Well, time to get yourself a mute bridge and we'll have a tune.
Go for it. Go for it, pal.
wonder if we were getting there, Bridge. Do you enjoy that?
Well, brilliant.
Kenny Shan Loyal.
Absolutely.
That was one for the old radiogram.
I was just going to say the old radiogram was working there, I'll tell you. Everybody, don't dance next to that radiogram. Oops, sorry.
I wouldn't be you, Bridge. You were always known for being light in your feet.
Light on my feet and always in the centre. Always in the centre of the room.
I can't remember. What one was it?
What's that?
Light fingered or light in your feet? I can't remember.
Light on my feet. I was never light fingered. Oh, tell a lie.
Remember, I know about all that copper wire.
Oh my God. Don't mention it.
Oh, dear. Foxy Boy. People want to join us. It's their show. James is sober. I mean, he's got people who maybe fit the bill, but they might be in contracts and they've been maybe no interested in moving, might want to stay locally within the continent. It's very, very difficult, isn't it?
He certainly does his homework, doesn't he? He must study all the games he watches. Yeah, man.
Referee. So if people want to join us and use their thoughts, because it is the punter show and it's a phone-in show. What's the number?
0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. You come in and talk to Bridge and Fox. What can they talk about, Bridgeman?
You can talk about anything they want to talk about as long as it's Rangers.
Here.
Or radiograms.
Or radio. Oh, sorry, Foxy, I forgot about your
I think there's only
song for radiograms.
I think there's only used to in Mac and know what a radiogram is. You know what I mean?
Radiograms, eh? And dance. Do you remember the dance set then, Foxy? The dance set record player? He's away. He's gone.
He's away putting one on his radiogram.
I was away checking in the cupboard whether I had one of them or no.
The old dance set, you know. Jeez.
There's a lot of gadgets in that cupboard of yours. That hoot.
Oh, for God's sake, don't talk about it, mate. That hoot's got me buying all sorts of stuff.
And how often do you use it, mate?
I never
use it. Just a collector's item. The collector's item.
How many ways does it take people to make one poached egg, mate?
Oh, I know. We've got all sorts of gadgets for making poached eggs, and we've just ended up with the solution of a wee half mug of water and bump it in there and a minute in the microwave. That works a treat.
Do you get it nice and soft at that?
Oh, it's lovely, mate. Bang on, right. So it is. Aye.
Cool.
Oh, dear. Oh, thanks for coming on here.
He's obviously got a bit of cookery about him. I'm going to
yes,
somewhere along the line you'll see him on one of these Saturday morning shows.
Oh, he should be on MasterChef The Professional, should Fox.
Well, I like my food.
Do you like cooking it? What?
Oh,
would you rather it was served to you?
No, I like cooking my own meals.
Oh, nice.
Thoroughly enjoy it.
Right, cool. You leave it alone. It might be ready, steady, cook out the what do you call it, Iceland or somewhere like that, you?
No chance, mate.
Oh, fresh.
How do you cook
this?
Fresh. How do you cook that?
I don't ask you.
That's no true, and you know it.
No, I did happen to say about the fillet steak I was making the other night. That was the only question I've ever asked you about cooking.
How do you put gravy on it?
No, I was overdoing it a bit, mate.
All right, okay.
So I got it perfect with a bit of advice from him, I must admit. Anyway.
Anyway, so I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday, and I must stress for the post the lobby. It's Saturday, 3:00 kick-off. Looking forward to hearing the manager and the press conference, because I think he's entitled to let us know that people weren't happy. But look, we've through a game of football and we move on, but it's all about now, what we do now, these two next games. And Bridgeman, 6 points out of 6 for me is a must. These next two games, there is wee mini break.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say it enough. We can't lose games. We just can't lose games to far, far, far inferior teams to us. And that's the truth. There's not very many teams that we could say that are really, really, really better than us, because I don't know any. But there's some teams that can give a good fight, but some other teams we should be taking the points off, particularly Ibrox. We should not be losing any points at Ibrox at all. Shouldn't be dropping in at all, Ibrox. And we should be winning well, because that's our place. That's where we do our business. And we should show them that we're good at our business and do it. Get in there, Rangers. Go on.
Fox, it's got to be 6 points out of 6 for me. I've got to be honest with you.
Oh, of course it has. I think it'll be a good game on Saturday. I do believe that Kilmarnock will come back and sit in, but I think that at times in the game they'll have a go as well and maybe leave some space for us that we can exploit and hopefully score a couple of goals. I do think we'll manage to have another clean sheet. We just need to score early, and if we score early, I think we'll win by 2 or 3 goals.
You said that on Sunday.
Well, we never got the early goal, Bridge.
That's what I'm saying. But these are the words that you said. And it's true. There's simplicity itself, isn't it? Simplicity itself. This is what we should be doing, and we don't do it. Sometimes we don't do it. Heartbreaking.
Listen, let's be honest about it. We get to go on Saturday in the first 20 minutes, a fluke or whatever. The game's so different.
The game's entirely over.
They're trying to come out, we pick them up and score again. Their legs start going because they're down. It's so different in the game of football, getting goals, Bridge. Yeah?
Absolutely, pal. Absolutely. I keep thinking back to the last time we played Kilmarnock down at their ground. And I'm not dead sure if they beat us or it was a draw. But we got this bye-bye Rangers from the Scottish manager, the present Scottish manager.
That was a year and a half ago, mate.
Well, whenever it was, And I'm thinking to myself, if ever someone deserves nothing in the game, then that's the man there. Then that's shocking.
Classless individual, man.
Indeed.
National manager, I don't think so. Not for me, but there you go. I don't think I'll be alone in that. But once again, join us in 0141 356 1972 or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. Come in and talk to the two senior citizens of Rangers Radio, Fox and Bridgeman.
I think you got that wrong. I think you're 2 senile citizens.
Senile, aye.
Aye. You might be right.
Foxy boy, you're a shocker. Where's JFK? JFK, I'm sure he's in the lobby. Come on, JFK, phone in. Let's get your dulcet tones, pal.
Bridgeman, JFK's on tomorrow evening.
Oh, sorry, pal. Sorry. I forgot.
Yeah.
This is the only Rangers show I know that gets more phone calls for Celtic supporters than it does Rangers supporters at times.
Well, say me right in it. They're trying hard, aren't they?
Aye, they're trying hard.
Very hard. All technical Terry's on the ball. But Ibrox, it's a different ball game. We seem to be able to use the pitch, the spaces there, and obviously the surface is immaculate. I do like your team, Fox. I do like your team, but hopefully Aribo will be fit for the game on Saturday, Bridge.
Yes, I would hope so. I think he was sadly missed. His guile and his adventurous. He's a real adventurous player, And we like to see that, and we like to see the way he runs. He's direct when he runs. Love to see him running through in the middle. Very direct, quick feet. Some take. That's all we need. It's a wee break.
All right, we've been joined by caller. Evening, caller.
All right, lads. How are you?
George.
How are you doing, George?
He's all right, Trips.
We're all right, mate. Your good self.
Aye, whistling Dixie, lads. Whistling Dixie.
Taking back to the football, mate?
Totally, mate. Totally. Boy, man, it's just, I just wish I was in the stadium, I'm talking about. I mean, just back at Ibrox, man, it'd be just brilliant, I'm talking about. Watching the telly, man's one thing, it's just not the same, innit, no?
Oh, do you know, the time you get for the game, do you know miss any of the game when you get dragged?
I knew that was coming, I walked into that one. right.
His boys stopped parting at Ferris and he's now parting at Toon.
I was flagging him over that a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, and he didn't see the funny side, but his mates did. They were rolling about the flare. Seriously, I was like, him going like that. I can't even see the top of the stadium. He goes, how far away, mate? I said, my legs are getting pure agony, by the way. Go there and missed the first 2 goals. I was like, oh no, couldn't make that up.
Time to leave. Eh?
Aye, but it's like this young generation, man. They want to leave 15 minutes into the game.
I don't get it, mate.
This is when you get goals.
I really don't get it when people would want to go to the game and then leave early. You know, I can get it.
Sure, what it's like, you know, man. Oh, you see some of the buses. Nobody sings either. They're on their phones. You're like, what's this all about?
Well, modern generation. Talking about the modern generation, we've been joined by George.
George Logan.
How you doing, boys? How you doing, boys? All right?
All right, George.
How you doing, boys?
Are we allowed two Georges on the call at the same time?
Weird that.
How we doing, George?
Aye, all right, boys. Aye, all right, Ox. Aye, just what you're saying about Saturday, Ox. I'm looking forward to the game again. I was on here a couple of weeks ago saying I was excited about the team and things like that. I'm still excited about the team, and I still believe in the team. They need to just believe in themselves a wee bit more, Ox. But I'm confident for the game on Saturday. I think if we, even if we did play the same team, Ox, it'll not be the same result. We spoke about it last night. That we kick up the bum when we needed. And I think we're still going to be positive. We've dropped points, but that's what it is, Ox. We've dropped points. We've got to drop points through the season. And I still believe in the team going forward. I think we can still win more games. And I think we're building a really good team. I mean, you read out the players earlier that's left, Ox. That's where we were and that's where we are now. That's thanks to everybody involved at Rangers, where we've actually, how far we've came and the space of time we've came. We need help from anybody outside the club, really. The thing for me now, Ox, is we need to keep moving forward, and I think we are moving forward. And it's easy to go on players' backs and things like that when we drop points, but I still think we're building a good team, Ox.
I did. I mean, going back to Halliday and Holt, and Halliday and Holt had some excellent games for us. But see, when we beat the Celtic and they played, the two of them were excellent that day. We gave them 4-year contracts. I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. You know, and we're in a better place, George, with better players, and we just have to take us to the next level, which is 55.
Aye, I totally agree with that, man. I agree with George 100%, know what I mean? Sensible people, George, really are. But just saying that, I mean, we just got to move it to a different the next level, by the way, you know what I mean? And see that boy, is it the boy for America, just going down a run there?
Yeah.
James of Tennessee.
Aye.
He knows his crap, doesn't he?
Aye, mate. He's what you call, with the greatest of respect, he's what you call an Ararat, isn't he?
Aye.
Well, I mean, I don't know
the few players he was talking about, man. I was like, they sound bang on for Rangers. Play left or right side midfield, they shoot for anywhere. I was like, that sounds just perfect for us. Scandinavian players do well for us.
But that is a great point, George, about shooting. Because we don't shoot teams.
Exactly. We don't do it. I don't understand why we don't do it. It's mystifying me, it really is.
Bridgeman, people sit in, and if you don't shoot, they can sit in. But if you do shoot, they've got to come out because they've got to try and block the shot. So there's two sides to the shooting coin, isn't there?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons I quite like Adji. I think he's got a good shot on him. The big problem we've got is we're using him as an auxiliary centre forward. He should be playing on the edge of the 18-yard box, somewhere like that. And when the ball comes, he gets a decent shot, but bending shot, because he's really good at bending the ball. But he's not scored for a wee while now. But we need that to happen. We need him to get better and better. That's what we're needing. Give it to Hadji. Give some more power to Hadji.
Well said, mate. Well said.
I still don't see it, mate. George, Logan.
The jury's out, I know.
Oh, the jury's back in, mate. That's the problem.
The jury's back in. He's been found guilty.
George?
Majority decision.
we need to find our shooting boots. So Bridgman's 100%. Ryan Jack done a couple of times last season, took a wee pop and ended up putting the back of the pocket. Our players don't do that enough, Hawks. We've got guys for most positions in the team, but we're talking about the other night there, the Alberts type, the boys that's only had a good shot. And I mean, James Tavernier does it often enough, but he's not far enough up the park. That's what I think our players need to start doing, because we have got shooters in the team. They just didn't take the chances often enough, Hawks, and that's what you're saying.
Well,
these guys are they're not coming out.
On you go, George.
See, Arfield gives you a goal from outside the box. He scored quite a few goals last night. Three good goals last season outside the box, man. So he's got that in his locker, man. I don't know why they try it more often. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's the day we train. I just can't fathom out.
There was one that came out to Barra section that was on his left peg on Sunday, and how it was the corner of the 18-yard box.
Aye.
And you're like, just put your foot through it and see what happens.
I know.
You know?
I know, man. I don't know what it is.
I mean, as I said, Fox, about shooting, then defenders have to come out a bit further, and you might not have to shoot because there then becomes a pass on. But if you don't shoot, they'll not come out. Anyway, we've been joined by another caller. Evening, caller.
Hi there, it's Ryan from Aberdeen.
How are we doing, Ryan? Right, have we checked me?
Yeah, good. Sorry.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome back, pal.
Is your
Oh, hi there. No, hi, Ryan. So,
how are we doing, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm doing good. There was nobody more disappointed than me on Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't rejoin you on the talk until last night. I was that gutted.
All right, okay, mate. Well, we're a self-help group.
Aye, my problem is I've lost my faith in Gerrard.
Right, okay.
There's nobody wanted him to do better than I did. We love him, we want him to do well, but it's not working.
Right.
And I'm afraid by that result on Sunday, it's the same old, and I don't see any difference.
What? Maybe the league table's different. Maybe the league table's different up in Aberdeen, Fox.
Aye, I know that, but I would rather we had a change now than before it's too late. I don't want to be talking at Christmas about this.
Foxy boy, in you come, mate.
Well, Ryan's allowed his opinion like everybody else, and if that's the way he feels, that's the way he feels. But I think we need to get him to the end of this season at a minimum. For all the mistakes he's made, I think he's earned the cash back with his runs in Europe and etc. That he's paid his way at our club. We took a chance on him as a young manager. I think he is learning on the job. And I wouldn't call for his head until we know the results for the rest of the season. It could so easily change in football where we could end up winning all three competitions. You don't know at this time, it's too early in the season. And I think you should just hang fire, Ryan, to see how he gets on.
So we've took 10 points. We've took 10 points out of 12 in the league. And you think there's a problem, Ryan?
Well, I mean, that's a fair point you have just made there, but we've been holding fire for the last 2 years now. How long do we need to hold fire for? We need some sort of success. And I know the European run's been great. It's been brilliant over the last 2 seasons. I've followed them all the way, and it's been wonderful. But we need success at home. It's only a 2-horse race in Scotland. We need to be number one. And that on Sunday, it just sent me back 3 paces. I was over the moon with the signings we made. I backed the manager all the way, but Sunday there it killed my hopes, and I would rather we have changed now than before it's too late.
I'll get on the panel. There's 5 of us on the show, but the Snoo. I'll ask the question simply: would you change it, the Snoo? My answer is no. I'm still on the train. I think Gerrard's important to our project. I think he's got to the end of the season. He'll need to deliver success. I wouldn't change it this now. No way. George Logan. Oh, we've lost George Bridgman.
No, I wouldn't change anything now. I doubt very much. I'm sad to hear that Ryan's a bit upset about what do you call our manager, and I think he need a wee bit more faith. Show a wee bit more faith and a bit of steady on it, and let's see how we go on. As Oxchair said, we've only dropped 2 points. That's all we've dropped. So we should be able to recover that over the next couple of games and be still there on top of the league. Remember, we're at the top of the league. Just remember
that. Fox and then George.
I think I've had my say on it, Ox.
You're still on the train, mate, yeah?
I am indeed, aye.
Mm-hmm. EK, George.
I'm still on the train, but I can't see where the boy's coming from.
Yeah, I think we all
can. You know what I mean? The manager, it's a bit like the loaf man, you know what I mean? He didn't seem to have a plan B at all, you know what I'm talking? It takes a hell of a long time for a substitution, you know what I mean? When you're expecting it substitution to happen at half time, and it's known, it's usually the wrong guy who gets hooked and all, which is strange enough. But I'm still on the train, man. At the end of the day, man, we've got to keep going, man. We've got to believe in ourselves, my team I'm talking about, man, to go on and clinch this title, man. I think this season, this is it. I feel it.
George, if you feel it, that'll do for me. Ryan, just out of curiosity, who would you bring in?
Well, I think we need somebody who knows the Scottish game. Gerard's done brilliantly in Europe. I can't deny that, but I think we need somebody with a bit more savvy with the Scottish Premier League. When sometimes we just need to go, I feel personally, at least 4-4-2. Sometimes we need to go a bit more direct, and we need a bit more muscle just to push this Kilmarnock and Livingston players off the ball, and let's get the win. We need to do this title this year. It's everything to us, especially everything we've been through over the last few years. I just want, like everybody else, we want to win. And that's the main thing. And I don't care who does it for us. We need to win.
I've been wrong before 1983, but I think we stick with Gerrard.
Well said.
I think if we stick with Gerrard, hopefully we'll get our rewards right. I just can't see there being any sort of change. And I'll tell you another thing, I don't think Gerrard will get sacked. I always think he'll walk away. That's always the feeling I get, personally. But,
yeah, I mean, my fingers are crossed. I hope it works out for him. I hope we do what we need to do this year, because it means
you want to be
everything
proved
to
wrong.
us.
You want to be proved wrong.
Aye, this means everything to us. We love the Rangers. It means everything to us in our lives, and we just want the best for our club.
Yep, all right. We've been joined by another caller. Evening, caller.
Hello, Ox. It's Alec here.
How we doing, Alex? How can I forget you, mate?
How could you forget that? The digits. I don't know.
How we doing, mate? Are you still on the train, mate?
100%. I'm on the train, and I can't believe what I'm listening to. Where I am. I mean, what is your
opinion?
I know, and I respect that, but what does he want? Does he want Derek McInnes to be your manager? I've just watched that dross tonight there. Absolute dross. And that's what we would have had if it wasn't for Gerrard.
What was the score out of curiosity?
1-0 to the Sheep. They won with a deflection. But absolute dross. Is that what he wants at the club? Is that what he's saying? You know, bring in these 6'2" muscle men that can't play fit and just put the boot in? Because that's what I just watched there. It was absolute dross.
Brian, I mean, was that who you were alluding to? Somebody that knew Scottish football, Derek McInnes? I think that ship sailed, didn't it? He had his chance and he won.
Yeah, I'm not looking for Derek McInnes, but I'm looking for a winner. I mean, we're Glasgow Rangers. We should be winning. I'm not talking about bringing somebody in with muscle men, 6'2", playing draws. We're talking about somebody with a bit of savvy that knows how to beat Celtic and knows how to win the league. Because that's what we should be doing.
We can't bring Walter out of retirement again, mate. We can't.
Yeah, Gerrard knows how to beat Celtic, mate. Have you not been watching the games the last couple of years? He knows how to beat Celtic.
I mean, I've been watching all the games, but we've not even lifted the CIS. I mean, the League Cup. I mean, we've not lifted nothing. That's my problem. That I wouldn't be on the phone tonight if we were winning.
Aye, we get beat with a dodgy decision after linesman in that game.
I know, but come on, we're the Rangers. We should be winning.
He has a point about the lack of success, but you've also got to remember, if you were listening to the start of the show, Ryan, Fox, can you name all the players that left again? It's unbelievable, the turnover in it.
Yep.
So get rid of Foderingham, Alwick, Flanagan, Halliday, McCrory, Polster, forgot about him. Who else? Docherty's away.
McCrory.
I say McCrory. The boy, the Scouse lad, which is Rossiter, Herrera, Ojo. Yeah, these guys.
That's a good point. Can I just add one more thing before I go, guys?
That's right.
I think Gerrard's a great coach. I really do. But I think he's been let down by the signing policy, maybe the scouting system, because I think if he had the right players, he would be able to coach them well. I just feel that there's been too many wrong signings. And we don't have the luxury. We don't have the luxury to be wasting too much money.
I think you've seen that's how the board moved in a different direction quite quickly with Mark Allen.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm hoping Wilson's a different takes it down a different road. I just feel that Gerrard. We all want Gerrard to succeed. Of course we do, and we all love him, and we want him to do the best for Rangers. But the signing policy is questionable, to say the least. But at the end of the day, my fingers are crossed, and I'll be backing them on Saturday. And I just hope we can do it. I hope we can do it this year.
I totally understand your frustration, Alex. I get how Ryan's frustrated after that performance on Sunday. We all were. But in the big picture, we're not in a bad place, are we?
No, 100%, mate. And as I say, you nailed it earlier on. We're 10 points out of 12. We're top of the league. We've not conceded a goal. You know what I mean? Look at the positives in the season ahead. We dropped points to Livingston, but we're going to drop points over the course of the season. It's how we respond in the next match. So stay positive, stay with the team, and stay with Gerrard. Gerrard will give us success, but we need to back him.
Here. Anyway, well, cheers, Ryan. Great to speak to you.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, mate. You take it easy, mate. We'll be joined by another caller. Evening, caller.
How you doing, lads? It's Magpie Jer. How are you getting on?
I got a message. We're on to 11 tonight.
How are you doing, Magpie?
You know I'm not coming on as often. I'm giving other people a chance. I had to come on tonight, mate, because I've been posting online. Look, I'm a Rangers fan. We've all got opinions. Ryan's got his opinion. Another guy's got an opinion. But Jesus Christ, can I just say, Ox, we were getting beat 5-0 4 years ago, Celtic. 5-0, 5-1. We can beat their team for Luxembourg. And we've come on leaps and bounds. We've beaten Porto, have won the Champions League. We beat Feyenoord, have won a European Cup. Might have been a long time ago. We're beating teams like that. Anybody that can't see there's progress there's incredible. I just don't get it, mate. If you can't stick by Gerrard, listen, look at that team we've got. That's what we can afford. There was a time we could have matched Bayern Munich, like for like, playing in a one-off game many, many years ago. These days are gone now. And finances will tell you that. We're up against a team in Scotland that has had unprecedented Champions League games because we couldn't play. We were in a different league for 4 years. Do you know what I mean? They've amounted that amount of money. They've got that advantage on us. They've got an advantage as the whole of the football authorities have been run by Celtic. Whether you like, some people might disagree with that. I firmly believe it's true. I said, but the truth of the matter is, yeah, we had a bad end to the season. But if you look at the start of last season, halfway there, we were the best team in Scotland. It's just unfortunate these things have happened. I'm not saying we're going to win the league this year, but we've had one blip. We dropped points at a place where they lost points at the start of last season. And as I've said to you, you've got to try and stick by the team. You've got to stick by the manager. Every time somebody's on Instagram, the abuse that Rangers players are getting for Rangers fans is a joke.
Just remember that no everybody...
you can remember that when the coach getting told, I was there, Ali, get to F. How would that turn out? You've got to give people a chance. I hear Hadji getting slaughtered as if Hadji should come in and run a Rangers team himself at 24.
21, mate, the boy's 21.
Well, 21, exactly. Exactly, Ox. Do you expect that guy to come in and be a world beater and change Rangers?
No, I don't think he's in the team this new, mate. I don't think
I know,
he's ready.
Well, you prefer do so you can drop him, mate. But I'm saying to you just now that basically I've heard, I could run a list of players that have been slaughtered by the Rangers fans. Barisic's shite, Barisic's crap, Barisic's this. Barisic's the best thing since Light Breast now. And this is the way it goes. But we are where we are, mate. See when that vote happened. See when Rangers went through, Stuart Robertson went through all that stuff, and then St. Peter just walked in at the end there and humiliated us and stood up there and got with that Churchillian speech and everybody applauded. We realised where we are in this game at this moment in time. That's where we are. We were
also right, Magpie.
But we're losing at the Rocks. Did we win? What did we win? We lost again. And we're losing it off the park all the time. Now, this is the best we can get at this moment in time. And we need to stick by them, mate. We've not lost it. We're top of the league. We haven't lost a match. When are we going to do when we start losing matches? You know, to say bringing in Hammerthross, I wouldn't cross the street to watch Aberdeen, mate. I don't even watch Scottish football. I love the Rangers and that's it. So I'm really not the best person to say how bad Scottish football is because I refuse to watch it. All I know, mate, the problems that have started are off the park for me still at this moment in time that need to be addressed. We should not be playing friendlies against Motherwell. We shouldn't be playing friendlies against Hamilton. We should certainly not be thinking about trading with Hibs or getting players out and loan to Motherwell. Teams that put the boot into us, mate, right, during that the whole time, especially the Motherwell guy who actually said that Rangers, the Rangers stuff dossier was like a fairy tale, a fable. And what did we do? Stuart Robertson, ex-Motherwell, let's play a wee friendly against them. Let's build bridges. I don't want to build bridges with him, mate, but it's still something I'm passionate about Rangers. And you know that, mate, and I don't see win, lose or draw. I'll still be a Rangers fan, and I'm glad to hear it, mate. But we need to get, I'm sorry if I'm shouting and I'm angry, but I'm really frustrated. The fact that Kent's crap, this one's crap, that one's crap, this one's crap. Look at the team we had 5 years ago. You've just mentioned the ones that are out the door. What did they want? They want them back. Sorry about that.
What happens in your support, mate? See when you're not in the team, if you're on the bench, you don't go on. You become a better player.
Exactly. We're all great managers. We can all pick and choose what we do, but it's the players that go in the park, they're the ones that perform. Gerrard kind of put the boots on for them. And he might be tactically wrong, get it wrong at times. But he has a new manager in a different league, a league where I bet you if you were to ask him, he's never experienced guys being able to boot people up and down the park without it getting dug up for it.
Do you think he's ever seen a game of football where a team will even come out to try and play?
Well, mate, I said that online, right, and people don't like this, because you know I'm an honest person. It's only my opinion. I'm not trying to upset people on, you know, that are in the lobby, because a lot of many of them are guys I've stuck up a good relationship with. This is my opinion, right? Walter Smith got lauded for getting us to a Europa League final. We won 2 games, and we played the exact same as Livingston did in many of the games. Do you know what I mean? Steven Gerrard's record in Europe's unbelievable. Have you look at the teams we were struggling against? To get beat by a team for Luxembourg to go to where we got to this year. Do you know what I mean? It's a big, big difference, mate, and you've got to see that in the space of 2 years. Do you know what I mean? Gerrard's
I'm a Magpie loyal. What about your good self, Fox?
I'm an old Rangers dad. I thoroughly agree with Magpie and everything he said there. What I find is people don't think he's that good a manager. He can win games in a higher qualified competition, which is the Europa League, and take us far in, deep into the competition. And as Ox rightly said, this low block, as they seem to call it, 10 men behind the ball, I think a lot of top managers would struggle to break that down. And that's my honest opinion. When you've got, as I've said many times on this show, when you've got 9 average professional football players, they can defend for their life, and it's very hard to break them down. I heard the boys talking about shooting from outside the box earlier on. Quite agree with that. But when you watch Livingston on Sunday, they had 5 men 25 yards out and 4 tucked in behind them, mate. The chances for shooting were far distances in between that. So, as I say, I agree with everything Magpie said.
It's hard to disagree, isn't it? Some of the things you say were absolutely spot on.
He's a wise man.
He is indeed.
He hides it well, but he is a wise man.
But, sometimes they're realities, isn't they?
I was thinking, I'm recording this so I can let her hear that.
No, I'm just saying it's a lot of the things he's saying is the realities.
He's also a great lover.
A great lover? Oh, gee whiz. No, well said, Magpie. Well said. And I hope that...
no problem, lads. I'm sorry, I didn't come on your rant, lads. It's just
No, it's all right. We're used to your rants. No problem.
But as I say, what Fox was saying there, lads, was right. I mean, Barcelona came to Ibrox. Remember, Messi a lot, man. We were 0-0 draw. We were delighted. We never even crossed the halfway line to get called down to football. Do you know what I mean? That's what you can do against class opposition if you're organised. You've got to remember the players we've got in our team. I don't think any of them have won anything. If you look at it, that's what we can afford just now. Do you know what I mean? And to me, in a one-off game against Celtic, we've proved that we can beat them, mate. Do you know what I mean? We can beat them. It's just the last season, whatever happened, I don't know if they've got a full season in us, and whether we've not got a squad for a full season, I don't know. But look, halfway through that league, we were the best team in that league. Whatever happened, that happened, you know. But to me, to watch the Rangers just now, I'm happy enough to. Look, you wouldn't watch any Scottish match. I don't watch any Scottish match. You're best telling me. But I don't think any of these matches away from home, even I've got Celtic supporters, but whisper it, mates who've said they can't stand watching Celtic away from home at times. It's a struggle. It's the same thing. So it's just what Maltman used to say he wouldn't have watched a great Liverpool team of winning things. He says, I wouldn't open the curtains if I play in my backyard, playing away from home. The type of football they played, and they'd win 1-0 away from home and stuff like that. So great teams do it, and we're still working in progress. Do you know what I mean?
Well said,
you've got to cut the guy some slack.
Alex, in you come, mate. I think you're similar view to Magpie.
Oh, definitely. Well said, Magpie, by the way. I couldn't have said it any better myself, but he said there.
Nobody can say it like Magpie.
Well, listen, under Cassini, we were getting embarrassed by Celtic. You know, 4s, 5s. They were taking the masses and embarrassing us at Ibrox and Hampden in the semi-finals and stuff. Where we've came from then to where we are now is night and day. And some Rangers support, honest to God, they're so fickle just because they won one bad result. And, you know, the kind of start of the season. The only criticism P.A. Gerrard, I wouldn't just put him up in lights just yet, but he needs to prove that he is adaptable to changing the team information at times. Because on Sunday there, taking Morelos off to put Itten on, I just couldn't get. Why not keep him on there a long way and maybe take Jack or tomorrow?
The biggest decision for me, mate, you know, was putting the boy Barker on, mate. I just can't get my head.
I know.
Yeah, I think, Alex, I think that because Morelos was maybe he was running the risk of getting sent off, you know what I mean? And that's why he took him off. But again, that shows you the depth of squad's not there. It's not been there for a while.
That's why we're having to clear the decks, man.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to clear the decks, basically, because we've got enough people, people stealing their wage, whether you like it or not. Now, I agree with Alex. There's something, I'm not going to say he's the best tactician in the world. I mean, for instance, Greg Stewart's played in plastic pitches. I thought the guy Jones was brought in for things like that. You know, and yet Hank Stewart was the only one that didn't go on. And if you think about it, see if you're bringing 5 substitutes on, how much time does that waste in a game as well? Do you know what I mean? If you're bringing those men, I bet we're lucky you got an hour of football in that game, and the rest of it was stoppages. and it's tough. I mean, so you're not really getting a 90 minutes, if you know what I mean. But listen,
We're trying to fling the ball for half an hour and all.
Yes.
What I get, we had a boy on last night, Mark, and with Ryan tonight, and you can hear their passion and you can hear their upset, and I get it. I was angry after the game. We're a bit more mature in age in some of them, so you see things a wee bit differently. But the performance wasn't great. We all accept that, but it's all about what happens now in Kilmarnock. If we put on another performance like that, the show will be different next week. But if we can get there and get a good positive result, we move on to Hamilton and we end up taking, in the first 6 league games of the season, we've took 16 or 18 after 18 points. We'll accept that, Magpie.
Oh, no, without a doubt, mate. Listen, you've got to understand it with the state of Scottish football. That's just now. We're saying one of the most, the manager of the Scotland team's one of the most negative men you could get. And he puts cart horses in the team, and that's just what people see in Scotland. And unfortunately, there must be some Rangers supporters who think that's okay to have big 6 foot, 2 6'3" guys with no much skill and just put themselves about. Because I'd rather watch that and hopefully win 1-0 with a punt up the park than try to do things correctly.
Magpie?
Do I like him? I definitely do. I prefer him to Helander. Helander's not done that much wrong. It's a bit slow to me, but I can't criticise the guys. Not had enough game time. I mean, we've got to Europa League Cup finals with Kirk Broadfoot and the likes in it. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is, lads, watching Rangers in Europe was a pleasure for me. Right up to that game, it's been a pleasure for me to watch some of the performance we put in. The fight, nobody can turn around and say the fight in the Braga game, we were 2-0 down. The crowd lifted them. That's what happens, the crowd get behind that team. Once you start booing in games that they're struggling against lower league teams and the thing, they get a bus out of that, they get a lift out of that. You've got to get behind a team. We've got to prove, we like to think we're the best. I think we've got the best supporters and we're the most loyal supporters in the world. There you go. I'll say that right now. What other team in what other country would go to 4th division league and fill it every time at home matches? We don't get enough praise off our own board for that kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff I expect our board to be saying about our fans. No sitting and listening to them getting slaughtered all the time. But we're going to have two people disagree. Plenty of people I've not even seen in the lobby. I'm probably getting pelters in the lobby.
Oh, you're always getting pelters.
I know. And I'm usually the one posting it, but it doesn't matter, It's split personality, No, but truthfully, what I'm trying to say, mate, it's all about opinion. Nobody's going to fall out on Rangers radio about it, you know what I mean? These guys are just as passionate about football as I am, just with a different opinion. But I think, see, when Hadji's crap, Kent's crap, this one's crap, Barisic is crap, that's all I hear. What's the support? Where's the support for the players? Do you know what I mean? You don't honestly think they don't read that or hear that stuff, people posting their Instagram posts and stuff like that, but stuff, it's silly. I mean, you never get behind the team. We're top of the league. We dropped points, but so did they against Kilmarnock.
They never get slaughtered. They never get slaughtered like we did they?
But the younger guys are getting. This year that's 10 in a row. To me,
no. We've gone for 55, mate.
Listen, we all know we were 4 years out of that league. 4 years out of that league. I think they got a points deduction in the season before it, and basically they've had all the money gone. It's been thrown at them. Jesus, and they got that league handed to them. I mean, it's hardly anything to be boasted about. Let's be upfront and honest about it.
No, I know. And I think the ones that are involved with that team know we're coming and they're worried, mate.
Without a doubt. But you've seen last year. Listen, mate, before I go, because I don't want to take the programme. Yes, one of the things that really bothered me about the Stuart Robertson stuff and all that stuff that went on is, see with the Daily Record's involvement in that last day, you tell yourself, this is what I'd have liked to have seen the Rangers board do, right, on that day, when the Inverness Kelly chairman gets slaughtered. An assassination piece on him, the Daily Record, on the day of that fort, right, to save for an inquiry. Why would any media not want an inquiry into what could be the biggest story in Scottish football, that there might be corruption? Or,
if you've nothing to hide, you're never be scared of an inquiry.
See if I was Celtic pushing for that, right, they would have wanted that inquiry.
Different. They would have done it internally.
I'm telling you, mate,
they don't like the spotlight.
Rangers should be asking questions and saying, why do you as journalists, not want an inquiry? Surely you should be pushing for that. Right.
Magpie,
Because
you
even
missed-
if you've got the
also
opportunity
missed the
to put
point.
Rangers noses in it.
When they've had 10 years, they've got other people in place, mate, in the
Well,
media.
but it's there. But I'm still hoping that the Rangers board's going to show some teeth, mate, because we'll not get anywhere unless we do start to win battles off the park. We can't have that. To see these three guys laughing at Rangers, Doncaster, McLennan, and the other two. I told you my girlfriend used to work for Harper McLeod, and I hope I'm not going to get any bother here, but she took abuse, being called a hun and all this, half a secretary's in there, she had to leave. I mean, that's the kind of company that is, and that's who we've got as working for the SPFL. She knows him, Mackenzie, quite well, and I'm telling you, mate, it's no...
we know.
It's not just a fables, it's true.
No, mate, you don't need to tell me, mate. There's a lot of stuff that I know that I can't say publicly.
Oh, no, listen, sorry, I hope I didn't mention that.
No,
got anybody in the ball. That's all on me, mate.
No,
Take me court.
No, mate, I'll get Rod to defend you.
Listen, mate, I'd talk them out the court. They'd end up letting me go.
Listen, Magpie, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, lads. Same to you guys. I'm still on, in the lobby. I'm working quite a lot just now. So I'm in the lobby all the time. I'm loving your show. So you're doing brilliant, lads, as usual. And it's good to hear a lot of the new callers as well, mate.
Things are evolving, mate. We've got a lot of great guys involved with the show. JFK, Port Bear.
Oh, without a doubt.
Rudy.
Without a doubt. I love everybody, even the ones with a different opinion. I just love every call, mate.
Stardogs, a breath of fresh air.
Aye, it's good to get a different perspective, you know.
Aye, mate, he's still...
Because we've been used to success, mate. We're different. We've been used to it. We've seen success, do you know what I mean? And if you look at what we're looking for as well, if you look at the Rangers' greatest 11, I think we've seen 3/4 of them, do you know what I mean? Well, I've not seen Craig in that, but I've seen ones after that, do you know what I mean? And it's like, so we've been fortunate, we've seen some of the best players. But to me, Rangers will come back, we're coming back.
Oh, the gap, mate, that's what's the point you made. And go to George EK with us. The gap, they've had all us 20, 30 million a year, 300 million. We've eat all the revenue, the TV, the money we've lost, and all the things. And where are they?
Mate, friends. We've got no friends in Scotland, none.
No, I know,
and the media, nothing.
But once you knock one domino, the rest.
Yeah, without a doubt, mate. And that's it. This is what we've just got to make. We've got to get behind Stevie G and the lads.
Just put them under the spotlight. If you look at that on Twitter, mate.
I know what you're saying. I still have to walk by there every day in my work. Oh, thank God I've got the masks. It's unbelievable.
Well, I would have ones with my eyes as well, but there we go. George EK, in you come, mate. In you come. Magpie's a shy boy, isn't he, George?
Yes, isn't he? He's on the fast tank.
Aye, some man. He's always fantastic when Magpie comes on. Thanks, man. Any words for Magpie?
Aye, Magpie is absolutely brilliant. He says it. His heart, you can hear it. His heart's bursting out there, and you can hear it talking. And he feels the same way as myself, and I dare say most of the guys that support Rangers. It's sad, but true. All the things that are happening, that's happening. It's not a dream.
But we're not the ones under the spotlight.
Correct.
Just listen to what I'm saying. Foxy boy, what's for Magpie?
I really appreciated your call, mate. You remind me of younger myself. And I'm for a kind of time, mate, where I went to Ibrox to watch the football. Trophies were a bonus, but I love my football. And I like the style of play that if we're allowed to play it, that Stevie G is producing. It's just that sometimes teams don't allow us to play like that. But on the whole, I'm happy for the manager. And I'm very happy you phoned tonight, Magpie.
Here. Alex, and you come, mate.
Absolutely. I agree with everybody there. It's absolutely spot on, Magpie. The summation that you done there, absolutely bang on. I couldn't have said it better myself. We just need to stay away, Gerard. Please back him, because he'll bring that 55 home for us. Just stay with him. The cracks will appear, but it'll get worse across the city, and watch them crumble. We need to stay firm. We've stood firm for 9 years.
Under the spotlight.
Aye, that's that. Just stay with us.
Spotlight. Right, well, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. Alex, you hung on after the show, mate. Just hung on for a minute, yeah?
Me, okay, yeah, no problem.
Freshman, we've reached that time of the evening.
Oh, well, another marvellous night. Great conversation, and that wee 10-15 minutes with Magpie there, interchange. Absolutely wonderful. The memories go back to a few years ago when we were shouting and bawling, and we're still shouting and bawling, but at a different level. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here, on Rangers Radio, every single one is we're building up to the weekend. Building up and building up. Everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us. Keep it going.
All right, can I thank everybody called in tonight? Forgot the boy's name. Ryan Ferdinand, with James from Tennessee, of course, George Logan, George VK, Alex, and of course Magpie, who always steals the show. Doesn't matter who's on. But it was always a pleasure to be joined by the Gramophone Kids, Bridge and Fox. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night with JFK is joining the show. This has been Rangers Radio. Back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, old school blue.
We support the Glasgow Rangers, doing it Ibrox is the place, and we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes, that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. The story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe we'll be travelling by land and sea and plain. The teddy bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all.